Hi, it's Stephen again, author of Doors Open When You Knock. How many phone numbers do you know? Do you know your own phone number? What about your spouse's number or your kids? Chances are you do not. You do not know these numbers because you don't need to anymore. They're already stored in your phone. Your brain isn't designed to hold lots of information in the moment, i.e. working memory. You can search the internet regarding our memory. You will find all sorts of conflicting data. Mostly, you will see that previous research thought humans maxed out at 7 items, i.e. that's why phone numbers are 7 digits. By the way, I'm not talking about the tricks and systems for improving what we can remember. I am simply referencing what we default to. Much of the current research is now pointing to most people can only hold a few things in our memory at a time, like 3 to 4. When you get up in the morning, what are you thinking about? Depending on what all is happening in your life, like if you have young kids or aging parents, you might have some real support things you need to do. But also for many people, they start thinking about the things that they need to do today. I did the same thing this morning, and I pretty much do the same thing every morning. And what finally struck me, I can only think of a handful of things at one time. I have 50 things or more I could be doing that need to be done, but at any given moment, I can only come up with 3 to 5. So, when you think about your business, is it systematized? Or is it more of, well, what is calling my attention today? And what is calling your attention can only be held in your memory, 3 to 5 things at a time. If you have a transaction or two going, or a listing or 2 or 3, you have lots going on. Mostly, you can only think about the business you are currently doing. Your mind has no capacity left to go out and do the other thing that is most important in your business, develop and nurture relationships. So maybe when you are doing business, your brain has limited capacity to go develop business because you're out of memory. Not to mention, no one wants to go out and do that anyway. Whole other topic. When you have no active business and you know you need to develop business, what's the problem? Well, there are many, but let's focus on 2. First is you don't want to. Reaching out to people for most agents is not comfortable. Not going to go into all the reasons why this is the case, but you know that this is true for you. The second problem, and the one I am focusing on here, is that your brain is confused. You simply do not have a system for processing how you reach out to people. There are so many ways to do it, and if you have not picked the 1 or 2 by which you will do it, you will default to none. In fact, you will default to what you do every day, which is what grabs your attention. And what grabs your attention, the 3 or 4 things in your working memory. Now, I'm purely speculating here. I have no hard research, simply my observations. But I invite you to look for yourself. And this is true for many agents. What grabs their attention? Social media. Social media is not your database. Social media for most agents is not developing and nurturing relationships. You develop and nurture relationships and you keep track of them in a database because, again, your brain cannot hold all of that information. The more I think about this, the more I realize how lucky I was to have landed on door knocking. I only had to do one thing every day, go to the doors. That was it. If you look at your database, if you have one, what you see is lots of things to do. Too many. It tells you all the people you haven't called, the people you know that are missing, the errors in the database, the people who are new but haven't been tagged or processed. Can you see already there are too many things? Our brain just can't handle it. If I give you a list every day of 3 things to do, and I was going to pay you $2,500 a day for every day you did those 3 things, would you do it? Some quick math, 100 days at $2,500, 250 grand. Want to earn more? 200 days, 500 grand. Notice I didn't say, could you do those things? I said, would you? You all could, but would you? 3 things every day is very simple. The problem is you have too many things and you don't have 1 or 2 things or 3 things that are absolutely critical. The good news here, yes, this really is good news. Whatever overwhelm or frustration you may have felt in the past or even right now is totally normal. The way out of this nightmare is through it. You can't do everything, you can't get it all done, and you definitely can't get everything done in one day. If you don't have a database, then your only job is to get one. Pick one over the next 7 days and start. If you have a database, but no one is in it, what should you do? Start with all your closings over the last 12 months. Who closed last month? Enter them in your database. Then go to the month before, then the month before that. Each day, simply do 1 month. That's it. Not all of it at once, just 1 bite per day. Some of you have a database that has like 3,000 people in it or more, and you have no idea what the F is going on in there. You have to do the same thing. You got to start with the people that closed last month, then the month before that, then the month before that. Then move on to your biggest referral sources, your favorite people, etc. Another trick, not to get in the weeds here, is that take everyone in your database, tag them with something like unprocessed, and then every day spend 30 minutes going through that list until it's all gone. Mostly you'll be archiving and deleting them. This is all good news. We don't need to remember stuff. The only thing we must do every workday, develop and nurture relationships. The simpler you can make that process, the better. You don't need to remember people's phone numbers, but you must call them. If this resonated with you today, or you have more questions, go to my website, click on the link, schedule a time to chat, and I'm here to help.